Hello and a warm welcome to today's video. If you have been following the news for the past year, evictions and unemployment have been on the rise. Now, if we follow economics, the situation should again normalize eventually and see the housing market demand skyrocketing. Now, as with any market which is booming, shady platforms are likely to pop up and take advantage of naive individuals. This is similar to today's cryptocurrency ecosystem. Having done some research, I have not come across a secure platform which allows only verified individuals to post their property for rent. On most platforms, anyone can simply make a listing. Downside here, of course, it can easily be abused by users with a malicious intent. Together with other factors, it is clear that there is a gap in the market. Well, at least where I'm from, there is a gap. Having recently graduated and no permanent job at the moment, I've decided to create a project which fills this market gap. While at it, I'll also be learning Go, so why not? Now, this project is open source simply because when I wanted to create a course, the payment part was not simple. With that said, let's get technical. For the front end, Flutter is the choice, and for the backend, we'll be using Go. Postgres is a database of choice simply because when compared to MySQL, it's simpler to do geolocation queries in Postgres. And to minimize database querying, we'll use Redis to cache frequently requested data. The system will have messaging functionality. MongoDB will be used to store the chats. And to enable autocomplete on various things, so maybe a user wants to search for other users on the platform, Elasticsearch will be used for that. Well, it's either Elasticsearch or Melisearch. I'm still to decide on that. By now you might have realized that this system is not dependent on a cloud provider. Well, that is the whole purpose of this, to remain free from those and have your project deployable in the environment of your choice. So perhaps you want to deploy on-premise, or maybe you'd want to deploy on a Raspberry Pi. Okay, so let's look at the system's architecture. So we have a property service which is responsible for creating listings and the related. We have a user and chat servers which are self-explanatory. Okay, a report service which allows users to report listings or other users. We want a safe environment. A booking service to allow landlords to organize viewings, and a subscription service because we only want those that are subscribed to create listings. This is the source of revenue also, so we won't be selling data and such. And finally, we have a service to handle user verifications. I'm still to figure out how to call this, and there's likely a few other more services I haven't mentioned, but so far these are the services we have at the moment. Communication between the services and the client will mostly be via gRPC. Here are external services that will depend on Firebase authentication, so perhaps we want to enable Google sign-in or Apple sign-in. Push and Firebase push notifications. Now, the reason I chose Firebase is simply because those services are essentially free and they are not charged for. Okay, and to enable in-app purchases for the subscription service, we'll use the in-app purchase SDKs for the relevant platforms. And if that's proven to be time-consuming or costly at the moment, then we may as well use a payment provider, so maybe Paygate. But I'm not sure how, if app stores will allow that or entertain that, since they won't be getting their cut or percentage. But either way, this is the first phase, and the point is to get something out there quick. And we'll build it in a flexible way such that we can simply switch from a payment provider to in-app purchases. Right, so this has been the introduction video to this project, and in the upcoming videos we'll start building it.